What's going on, guys? Today's Tuesday. It is a fresh week here at Unit Martial Arts. I'm at the academy right now. First off, we just recently hit 23K here, so thank you guys for subbing to this channel. And I just want to give you guys a quick update on things that I've been doing at the gym. Let me just take you through a couple of the little things. It's not huge things, but something is always better than nothing, I feel. So number one, I did a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu ranking poster to complement the other two posters that I already had, which was the Academy Etiquette as well as the Karate and Kali ranking system. So that just ties it all in together, and it really makes the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu program really feel like it's a part of Union Martial Arts and not just an additional add-on piece for whatever reason. Another thing that I did do is I had this TV mounted onto the wall, so this can be tilted up, down, left, right. And essentially what I'm trying to do with this TV here is put our lesson plans, either mine or our instructor here, Adam Blackadder. We're gonna have our lesson plans up there so that when the mats are full and we're coming around doing our kind of like checkups when we're teaching, then if people have questions, they can kind of troubleshoot themselves first and then answer it. If not, we'll be around to help, but it just gives that more professional feel. So that's pretty much it, just those two basic things. We have a couple of things going on at the gym in these next few weeks. We are setting up a summer camp for July, and we also have some summer membership specials. So just busy working on that. Oh, and if you guys have been following FMA Concepts, you would know that we are working on a blade tactics tutorial. So the blade tactics is going to be a knife-oriented cycle. We launched about 23 videos for our initial launch, and I wanted it to be very comprehensive and I wanted a lot to be on it. But after going through it, I think I really feel like it's too much. So we are narrowing it down to 8 videos because I really want people to not just pick at it and watch one tutorial at a time. I really want everyone to take blade tactics and then be able to learn it all for what it is and have it kind of as a wholesome package. So 8 videos with, you know, improved feedback, with improved interaction, with better angles, really just taking my experience from the first cycle and applying it to the next one. And so every cycle after that, I hope to do better and better and better. I originally said I wanted to launch it around this time, late May, early June. We did have a little bit of technical difficulties, which, you know, honestly comes with business, so it will be delayed a little bit. So I'm hoping now we're aiming for end of June, which is going to be literally the week before we have a summer shutdown where we close for a week. And I'm really trying to clear up that time and not have any work done during that summer shutdown. So real quick, if you guys are combat sports fans and you've been following not just UFC but also boxing, you probably have just seen the man, Anthony Joshua, get TKO'd by Andy Ruiz. And it's like the biggest upset since Mike Tyson lost, I believe. Something like that. But anyways, so now there's all these memes all over the internet, and there's all these, you know, posts that are pretty much shaming going to the gym because Anthony Joshua is this big, muscular, like literally cyborg-looking human, and Andy Ruiz is, you know, a shorter, chubbier guy who doesn't really look like the fighter template. Which brings me to this topic because a lot of people, I feel, especially on the internet and on YouTube, people want to watch and listen to, you know, the people who look the part versus can actually do the part. So I really wanted to talk about kind of my take on all of this because there's something to learn from both sides. Well, number one, obviously Anthony Joshua lost for a technical aspect. So what matters more, looking good or doing good? I'm not the most aesthetically pleasing martial artist. You know, I don't diet extremely hard. I don't have some strict regimen when it comes to even working out. I do train very frequently because number one, it's my job, and number two, I just really enjoy it. I'm not really searching for a physical product. I'm looking more so for the journey and just experiencing martial arts. I still work out time to time, but I'm not, you know, going to the gym lifting weights I'm a firm believer in the training that I like to participate in outside of martial arts will almost directly translate into martial arts. So I do a lot of body weight, or I just do, a lot of circuit training involving martial arts techniques. So I'm really strict towards my body performing for martial arts because that's what I have to do day in and day out. Once upon a time when I was younger, I used to care about, being buff and having the muscles and being able to, bench a certain amount, deadlift a certain amount, squat a certain amount. But when I started to get big, I started to realize that I was getting slow and I was losing my touch that I had, especially when I was really heavy into point sparring in karate. And so I decided to cut that all out. And I'm not saying that weightlifting is bad, but you really have to understand what you're training for. And so I think in the grand scheme of things of Anthony Joshua losing, it's no shot in saying that, going to the gym is worthless or lifting weights is worthless. Honestly, I take it from George St. Pierre as well. There's a quote that he said, and it was, he doesn't believe in conditioning. He doesn't believe in lifting weights for the sake of martial arts. But he did say that if you look good, you feel good, and if you feel good, you'll do good. So if lifting weights makes you feel good because you look good, you got the six-pack you want, you have, the muscles, the shreds and all that stuff. If that makes you feel good because you're proud of how you look, then obviously you're going to have a better outlook on the way that your day goes, and you're going to come to class, you're going to be able to do things at work, at home, with a better outlook on life, with more positivity because you feel good about yourself. So I think it's both physical and mental when it comes to just the sheer choice. Are you going to lift weights, or are you going to, become the most technical badass out there? But at the end of the day, it's a balance as long as you understand what you're looking for. So on that note, tonight is going to be jiu-jitsu. It's actually one of my favorite ways of sweating because it just gets super hot in those gis. And for me, being in Filipino martial arts for so long, it's nice to have a refreshing outlook. Not that I'm bored of Filipino martial arts, but I get to have a teacher teach me things that I've always had a question about, or that can complement what I already have. And that's ultimately my goal with training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm not chasing any belt. I'm not, trying to compete even. I just want it to, evolve my martial arts game in general. And before I let you guys go to the next clip, I once read a comment on one of my technique videos in here. He's complaining that he came to this channel for Filipino martial arts, and now that it's going to look, it looks like it's shifting from Union martial arts to Mark Anastasio, which is my personal YouTube, so to say, going from Filipino martial arts to the best way possible. And he was like pretty upset about it, that I was focusing in that video on something other than Kali, which I think is really stupid, because if you really think about it, many martial arts, not just Filipino martial arts, but especially FMA, take from other arts. That's the whole thing about, the ability to share your knowledge, is you don't have to just do one martial art. And there's not one superior art, there's just a superior martial artist. And that's the guy or girl who takes things from different arts and puts it together to complement what they like doing, or how they feel is the best way to combat certain techniques or situations. So you're gonna lose a lot of credibility if you think that one art can beat everything, which is not the case unless you do no-touch Tai Chi. Alright guys, it's a beautiful day here in Brampton at the Academy once again. Have a couple of things to do before class starts tonight. One of the things I want to talk about with you guys before I show you guys something that I like to do for solo training. When it comes to training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specifically, I only get to train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with partners, so to say, at least, or at most 2 times, maybe 3 times. But 2 times definitely with our instructor. So out of the entire week of me training and teaching, the ratio between Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Filipino martial arts, it's like 6 to 2. I obviously get more reps in, and Filipino martial arts is my base, so it is easier for me to practice on my own and understand the concept in which the technique is trying to display. And especially when it comes to martial arts in general, just because you can understand what the teacher wants you to do in class doesn't necessarily mean you understand the principle of application, or when is it really going to be used, or how are you going to find it. And those are things that I kind of want to register with my body a little more, which requires extra time. Now, unfortunately for me, because ideally I would love to, call up one of my buddies and tell them, hey, come to the gym, let's roll before class starts or after class starts, stay a little later. But my schedule is a lot different than a lot of my friends and my training partners. So the only real chance I do get to train with their live energy is during class. Thanks to the internet, as well as some suggestions from our instructor, Adam, we actually have 3 punching bags at the gym. But basically I took the top part, which I have down here, and I just lay it down on the ground, and that pretty much allows me to practice my transitions on, an object. And it's, I've researched grappling dummies, and I've researched, different methods of training, but I don't really want to stray so far away from live energy training and practicing on a real live person. So at the very least, I can practice my transitions from like side control to mount, and from kesegetami back to regular side control, so on and so forth. So if you guys do practice martial arts on your own for a majority of the time, number one, I highly suggest that you either join a reputable gym, or you have a reliable training partner that is willing to put in the work with you, so that you can rep it out properly. But if you are on your own and you want to get those extra reps, if you have a punching bag, it'll look something like this. So I'm no expert in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but just to give you guys an example. So pretty much you would have the bag in whatever way. So let's say I start in side control here. Now obviously there's no head to have head control, so I have my gable grip. But this is basically going to allow me to move my weight around a little bit and see how much weight do I want to press on my partner. Let's say I switch to kesegetami, and I want to be able to understand, am I lying down here, am I pressing on them? And basically this is just going to allow me to work my way around, practice my transitions. We have a high mount here, so on and so forth. So I like to do this especially on the jiu-jitsu days, before class starts, just to get my brain wired the right way, really fine-tune it to be, in the BJJ mindset. It's funny because, I do martial arts as a living, and I'm teaching, 6 out of the 7 days of a week, and I really spend a lot of time around martial arts, even if I'm not physically training. But no matter how much I train, there's always going to be, a rewiring effect, because ironically enough, Filipino martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu are so complementary to each other, yet their philosophies are so opposite, at least in our system of Filipino martial arts. So if we break it down, Filipino martial arts, some of the core principles of training, number one is to be light and quick. Because we're dealing with weapons, we don't want to spend too long in a situation. If we can finish it in one shot, we'll finish it in one shot. So because it is a weapon-oriented art, it automatically puts us in an offensive-oriented position, or counter-offensive at the very least, where we try to dictate the pace and the control by eliminating the target. So we want to be light so we can be agile, we want to be quick and attack, and we would just want to be able to separate ourselves from that situation as quick as possible. When it comes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's a patient game. Both of them are still wired the same way. It's a very flowing art, whether you look at it through FMA or BJJ. But what I found that, I've had to rewire in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's number one, defensively oriented. So I'm looking to protect myself and survive. You can do whatever you want, but I'm gonna look for my defense first. And if there's an opening in your offense, if there's an opening in your movement, I'll take advantage of that and put you into a more submissive position. Secondly, just like I was explaining with the weight distribution on the bag, you want to be as heavy as possible when you are pinning someone down. Obviously, you want to be as light as possible when you're transitioning so you can move quicker, but the method of being light isn't by lifting your weight off your opponent, it's by understanding the weight distribution and how to make your partner carry as much weight as possible. So when I started to realize how to, plant myself down and rest my weight on them and really just pressure them to make a mistake, get them frustrated, it really elevated my game. And that was more so based off of principle as opposed to, actual technique itself. And so they're pretty much polar opposites, but when you put them together, it allows you to go both left and right. We can teach our students here striking range to weapon range to grappling range and all the way back around. And I think that's very, very important to understand the value of each martial arts by showcasing it, not how they beat each other, but how they can complement each other. When it comes to training as rigorously as I do, or in fact some people train even more than I do, whether you're a professional fighter or not, I think longevity should be one of your goals, which means that you want to be able to train as long as possible in your life. Now obviously things change, people get married, have kids, and things will get in the way and priorities will shift. That's completely understandable. But if you are training, one of the things that you do need to focus on, aside from the technique and the commitment to training, is your commitment to prehab and rehab. So taking care of your body before and after class. Naturally, as a martial artist, as a warrior mentality, you want to fight through everything and push through everything and think that the aches and the pains are just a byproduct of training hard and it'll go away tomorrow, or it doesn't really bother you that much. May not bother you much now, maybe in 6 months it gets worse, a year it gets worse, and then it gets to the point where it's too late and you tear a vital part of your body, you give yourself a serious injury, and you're out of the game, possibly permanently. So take care of your body, guys. I know this vlog hasn't been the most enthusiastic and interesting, but I do want to give you guys more in these vlogs. I want to take you guys more outside of this gym and whatnot. So if you guys are interested in seeing anything, please let me know in the comments below. I want to be more consistent, but I also want to give you guys more value in these vlogs. So let me know what you guys want to see, if there is anything. And I'm excited to give you guys some more tutorials to train with and just continue spreading Filipino martial arts and just martial arts in general. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you smash the thumbs up button. And until next time, catch you guys then.